if you could just kick off with a brief introduction to this amazing film, what do you think people can expect when they watch it?
Starting me off with that one. I'm Samuel Bottomley, and I think people will be, I'd say, educated. I'd like to think be educated in a roundabout way.
Yeah, and I'm Shaun, and I play Badger, and I think this could be something that people could learn from, get help and support from. I think there's many avenues that people can benefit from watching this film.
I'm Laura, and I play Paige, and I think a lot of people will relate to the film in many ways.
And what's really funny to me, being a millennial Brit, obviously a lot of what's in the film feels very familiar to me, but I don't think I've ever seen it on screen before. What did you first think when you read Molly's script? Something very refreshing about it.
Yeah, for me, it was the characters. The characters really stood out. The dialogue was very authentic, and I really liked the pace of the conversations and how they was held. I thought that was very, very close to how modern-day conversations in the youth probably occur. And the more I read it, the more I anticipated, something happening. And then I got to a moment where I was quite shocked. And that's when I realised this is a super, super important story, and it certainly needs to be told. So, yeah, I went about learning my lines and, yeah, worked hard in my audition.
And for you guys?
I'd say definitely, like, the youthfulness of it, definitely. I felt like I were getting... It was like the voice of my generation, I think, when I was reading it. That's why it felt like I was reading. And just how important the story was to tell, and I thought I definitely had to be a part of it.
Yeah, I think there's like a lot of different emotions in it, which is good. Like you said, when you're reading it, you can actually feel like you're actually there. Do you know what I mean? I think she's done a really good job. Yeah.
And the thing that really comes off the screen is the authenticity. I mean, it literally looks like you guys were for real in that resort, all friends. But obviously that didn't happen by accident. So much work had gone into that, and reading about how Molly had really put so much effort into the costumes and the extras and the music and being inside those clubs. What was it like being on that set? And it looks like you must have had a lot of fun, despite some of the darker bits of the storyline.
It was so much fun, and I think Molly did a great job of giving us somewhat control of our characters, and that really gives us the incentive to think about stuff and put opinions out there. And I think Molly working the way she has worked and giving us the opportunity to do the rehearsals and stuff, I think that was all quite detrimental in our chemistry on screen, and I think that played a massive part.
And your experience of being on the set?
Yeah, it were really good. It were because I think we're all so close, and obviously because I've never done this before, and these guys were just so reassuring me all the time. Molly were reassuring me every single day. Yeah, it were amazing. Best experience of my life.
Yeah, we really had to work the first 2 weeks of rehearsals, just getting that trust and that bond with each other, especially characters like me and Mia and Badger and Lara's characters, but even just everyone in general, just getting that trust with each other, because acting around each other, especially for you with your first job on it,
yeah,
it's quite a vulnerable thing, do you know what I mean, to do in front of strangers. So
yeah,
just getting that sort of family unit up and running was very important.
Had you guys been on a holiday like that? How much of this was already familiar to you, or were you kind of oh my God, I can't imagine actually doing this for real?
Completely alien to me. I've never been on a lad's holiday, so it was just all from the script. I had to get my my homework, or what would I say, my material.
Yeah.
Yeah, and same again. I'd never been on one of these lads' holidays. I'd spent time going on holiday with my family and stuff like that. But I kind of growing up watching a lot of films and party films and stuff like that. So I kind of had the gist in my head on how these situations maybe played out or could play out. So, I just always kept an open mind going into the scenes and didn't let the fact that I'd not been on one of these holidays determine on how I was going to perform. I don't think that we needed to go on these holidays to be a part of such an important story. I think you just had to have awareness and the ability to be open-minded to, put yourself in them places and somewhat channel your inner immaturity, and, and kind of go into your scenes and being able to work with such a talented cast like Sam, Laura, Mia and Lara, and, you know, it can be quite daunting as an actor going onto a set. So for you to go on there and, you know, really step out of your comfort zone and go big with something or go loud with something, it takes some doing. But like Sam was saying about the chemistry, the build up to go into Malia and the time we got to spend together really opened up that platform for us to be, again, really comfortable around one another and enabled us to perform to the extent that we needed to.
And I think in terms of the takeaways from the film, it really captures, you know, on the positive side, the sort of joy and the inhibitions that, you know, young people can have in these sorts of holidays. But of course, also grappling with these issues of consent and the sort of the pressure that young people are on and can actually affect them thereafter. You know, what do you hope people take away from watching it and the conversations that might be started?
Yeah, well, exactly that. I'd say, like, just the start of the conversation, like, it's already started the conversation now, so, like, once people leave the cinema, hopefully they just keep on talking about it and different experiences they've had or whatever, just opens up that dialogue to not be such a taboo subject.
Yeah, and I think once the conversation has started on consent, I think then it's about re-educating and educating the younger generations and, you know, putting this film into schools maybe to use as an educational device. I think that would be really positive for this film, and I think a lot of young people could learn from it, because from my experience when I was in school, I don't ever really remember learning about consent. It was more about contraception, and I think that might be where some of the problem lies. I think we need to start educating people and making people more aware, and with this film you are able to do that. And I will certainly, when my nieces and nephews and people in my family grow up, they will be sitting down and they will be watching this film as a learning topic.
Did you want to add anything quickly?
No, I think I've said it all.
Well, thank you so much for sharing all that with me. And like I said, I think it's a really important film and great that more people will get to see it soon. So thanks so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, nice to meet you.